When we talk about essays, the most important thing is to decide on what argument you are going to provide to the question. So you need to choose a writing style, whether it's going to be a critical analysis or a discussion. So this is up to you. It depends on the topic and it depends on your individual personality. It's very important to decide on the structure of your argument. So there are certain things you need to consider in order to decide what kind of argument you want to provide. First of all, you need to understand what you are being asked. Are you being asked to discuss something, to analyze it, to criticize it? It depends on the question. So you need to read the question very carefully and see what you are being asked. The next thing is to think about your intuitive response to the question. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree? Do you want to approve, disapprove something? This is very important so that you can actually choose your position. Your position is very important so that you can write an argument that actually proves that position. So once you have chosen your position, it's very important to evaluate your general knowledge. So think about how can you actually support that position. This will show you how much of research you need to conduct next. So it's a little tip I have for you. I generally consider the two opposite sides. So if I have a question, obviously there is for and against that question. I'm thinking about both of them. I may initially think that I'm for, but then if I'm thinking a bit more and I think that against will be easier for me to prove, then I'll choose against. So don't immediately rule out the other side of the question. Think about it as well. It may even be easier for you to talk about. The next step obviously is to find your research materials. So you will need some academic knowledge, opinions, some information from, books, possibly journal articles. So all this is very important so that you can prove your position, you can support it, and you can show, yes, I am right in what I'm saying. A tip from me would be if you use someone else's opinion, say an academic, for example, it's very good to say, well, why you agree or why you disagree, because this will kind of provide a bit more depth in what you're saying. So think about it as a process of knowledge gathering. And once you have finished it, ask yourself, right, if I'm the reader, would I believe this piece of paper? So this is very important because you may feel that you need some more kind of materials, maybe academic opinion, maybe a bit more books to prove your position. So the basic essay structure is, so you've got introduction, you've got body and conclusion. The introduction basically consists of your topic that you're going to address. So just include like a sentence introducing the topic and then summarize your main points. This will first of all make first impression and then it will help the reader know from the outset what your position is. The body is what I call the life of the essay because it contains your arguments, your analysis. It contains everything that will prove your position. So my tip would be to include like a little conclusion after each argument, perhaps just a sentence. For example, imagine that you are discussing something, you're giving examples, you're analyzing. Then why not include a sentence saying, therefore, this is, or that is why this is true. So the idea is provide some kind of linking word. The linking word will give your reader kind of summary of what you are trying to say with that argument. The final conclusion of the essay is very nice and simple. So it's kind of a summary of what you've said. You may, again, just state your main points, but very importantly, do not provide new arguments. The conclusion is just a summary. It must not give anything new that supports your position. So remember that you need to be as much clear and concise as you can in your sentences. Don't provide large sentences that no one can understand. Make them nice and short. Think about if a normal, ordinary person will understand your sentence. The clarity is very important for an essay. The comprehensiveness as well. So you need to try and be clear rather than use complicated words just to make it impressive. Impression isn't important. More important is the understanding. And of course, do not stress out. Eat chocolate. Stay focused. This will help you write a proper essay.